Michael Tait, once the voice behind two of Christian music's most iconic bands, DC Talk and Newsboys, is now facing allegations of grooming, and substance abuse. And now, the remaining members of the Newsboys have broken their silence. But their statement? It raises more questions than it answers. Last night, Newsboys released what they called a devastated response to the investigation by the Roy's Report, an expose that details more than 20 years of troubling behavior allegedly committed by Tate. The band says their hearts were shattered, they feel deceived, and they're urging victims to come forward. But here's the thing. If this was Nashville's worst-kept secret, how could they not have known? Hello, Anointed One, and welcome back to the channel. Yesterday, we delved into the shocking allegations against Michael Tait, former frontman of the Newsboys and DC Talk, detailing the 2.5-year investigation by the Roy's Report into claims of sexual assault, grooming, and substance abuse. If you missed that video, I highly recommend checking it out, as it lays the groundwork for what we're about to discuss. Because, folks, we have a significant update, and it's from the Newsboys themselves. The band has just issued a powerful statement, and it's one that's stirring up a lot of discussion, and frankly, a lot of skepticism. As you know, Newsboys' 2025 Canadian tour was abruptly cancelled, and Tate's departure just days before added to the confusion. Now, with the Roy's Report's detailed investigation out in the open, the band has finally broken their silence. Here's their full statement. Last night, our hearts were shattered when we read the news alleging drug abuse and inappropriate actions by our former lead singer, Michael Tait. While Michael has not addressed these allegations, we are devastated even by the implications. First and foremost, our hearts are with the victims who have bravely shared their stories. If you are a victim, we urge you to come forward. We absolutely do not condone any form of sexual assault. The four of us are husbands and fathers. Between the four of us, we have 14 children. Our wives and children have made many sacrifices while we have dedicated our lives to playing music together that glorifies God. We are horrified, heartbroken, and angry at this report. And in many ways, we feel as if we and our families have been deceived for the last 15 years. When he left the band in January, Michael confessed to us and our management that he had been living a double life, but we never imagined that it could be this bad. Jeff, Jody, Duncan, and Adam. Okay, let's unpack this. On one hand, it's a statement that, on the surface, expresses empathy for victims and condemns sexual assault. They're clearly trying to distance themselves from Tate's alleged actions and show solidarity with those who have been harmed. As husbands and fathers, they emphasize their horror and anger. But then, we get to the part that raises so many questions. In many ways, we feel as if we and our families have been deceived for the last 15 years. When he left the band in January, Michael confessed to us and our management that he had been living a double life. But we never imagined that it could be this bad. This is the critical point. As I mentioned in my previous video, and as many of you who follow Christian music already know, this story about Michael Tait has been called Nashville's worst-kept secret. For decades, allegations have circulated that Tait groomed and SA'd numerous victims. The Roy's Report's investigation details stories going back more than 20 years. So, how can the people closest to him, his bandmates, his management, who have shared buses, stages, and countless hours with him for 15 years, claim they were clueless? How can they say they never imagined it could be this bad? What was the thinking here with this statement? Was it, hey, what if we deny we knew and act shocked? Maybe we'll get to keep some fans. Come on, fellas. Seriously? You knew. We knew. You knew that we knew. We knew that you knew. The whole time. The only thing I'll give them is this. Maybe they didn't know it was this bad. Perhaps the sheer depth and depravity of the detailed allegations in the Roy's Report truly caught them off guard. Perhaps they only knew about the rumors and the double life confession, but not the specific, horrific details of the alleged assaults. But to claim complete deception and shock? In an industry where a code of silence is well documented, where power dynamics often protect abusers and silence victims, It's incredibly difficult to believe that those intimately involved with Michael Tait had absolutely no inkling of his alleged predatory behavior. The fact that the allegations have been Nashville's worst-kept secret for so long strongly suggests that many people did know, or at least suspected, and for various reasons, remained silent. Which lawyer or manager decided on that being their statement? The one that suggests profound ignorance in the face of widespread rumors. It almost feels like a calculated move to salvage their image, rather than a genuine, fully transparent admission of what they might have, or should have, known. If anyone believes for a second that Jeff, Jody, Duncan, and Adam had no idea, and now feel deceived, I have a bridge to sell you in Brooklyn. This statement, while offering sympathy to victims, simultaneously creates a new layer of questions around the newsboys' own accountability and their role in a system that may have allowed these alleged actions to continue for so long. It leaves us wondering about the broader culture within Christian music. For example, Carson replied to their statement on X and asked, "I hope you can understand that there are still a lot of questions. For instance, could you please address these statements?" Taylor built rapport with the Newsboys family fast, and one of the easiest ways of doing this was by drinking alcohol. There was pretty much always, like a bottle of wine or some vodka, on the bus. We always had cranberry vodka. Although there have been rumors of misconduct, Tate and his network's influence and ability to blackball people from the industry have squelched them, sources say. According to multiple sources who have and currently tour in Christian music, this type of locker room behavior, often involving nudity, massage, beer, cigarettes, and in this case skinny dipping, has frequented Christian music spheres of influence for decades. While there are more reserved bands, this culture makes it normal for there to be naked bands on tour. While the Newsboys were not classified this way, he added, Tate was known for wearing less clothes. For example, in a report from a security debrief at the Wilmar, Minnesota-based Sunshine Festival in July 2011, Security Chief Jeff Quiggle wrote, "The band's Newsboys manager came over to the trailer the guys were in, banged on the door and told them it was almost time to be on stage. Soon the trailer door swung open and standing there, dressed only in a towel, was Michael Tait. The female security escort quickly turned her head and covered her eyes." This are claims found the Roy's Report article. According to another whistleblower, Michael Tait's sins were not private. They were known by many people for years, especially by Newsboys manager Wes Campbell, who according to sources is incredibly corrupt and kept it all hidden. A whistleblower says that he's been fielding complaints for years, from Tate texting folk pictures to being caught on the tour bus with other men, to the point that multiple bands refused to go on tour with the Newsboys because of Tate's reputation. This story is evolving rapidly, and it's forcing a long overdue reckoning within the Christian music industry. We stand with the brave survivors who have come forward. What do you make of the Newsboys' statement? Do you believe their claims of being deceived? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below.